Here's something interesting and you don't see every day, so I thought I would share it. This is my AVT50x combo amp, and it's been my main guitar amp for about 17 years now, both gigging and in the studio. It's a hybrid state amp, so a transistor 50-watt power amp, and a single valve in the preamp that you can see there. So before I continue, first of all I would say if you don't know what you're doing, don't open these up, especially when they're on, because there's a lot of high voltages that will not be very friendly to you. But if you're doing diagnostics and testing and fixing things, then it can be essential for getting those things done. So, a couple of weeks ago, this thing stopped working entirely. It was a couple of very, very loud bangs, followed by silence, which is not what you want from a guitar amp. And thankfully, it turned out just to be that this valve here had become deseated from the connector underneath it. So turned it off, let it power down, let all the voltages dissipate, then gave it a good wiggle, and the amp sprung back to life, which is great. But while I was here, and while the amp is all taken apart, I thought I would take the time to replace this output fan here, which the old one was getting very, very noisy on startup, like very, very loud whirs, and it was it's been like that for a few years now, so I thought it would be time to replace it. And it's actually quite a simple job. First of all, you need to order a new output fan, which you can search up which ones you need online quite easily. And then it's simply a case of taking that connector out and splicing the connector onto the new fan. You can see I've got some splice wires there. Taking this connector, and this connector, and that will allow you to remove the heatsink board when you take out that screw and this screw there. And then it's just two more screws on the fan itself, and it's a pretty simple fix actually. It's a little bit fiddly, but I'm glad I did it because it's running a heck of a lot quieter now, as you can hear. So, inside the amp, because you don't see these that often really, you've got the main board with the valve heart of the preamp. You've got the power amp board there, and you can see the transistor on the big metal heatsink. Over here you've got the rear jack board, which includes the effects loop, the emulated line out, and the speaker out. And interesting design here. So the reverb actually comes off a cable and just plugs straight in there, and the reverb actually sits inside the cabinet. You can't see very well there, but on this edge. And another thing I'd like to do before I put this all back together is to try and shield this edge slightly, because I'm getting a bit of noise in the reverb. But overall, it's a good amp. Well, I think it is anyway. And I thought I'd show you the inside of it. So there is the Marshall AVT50x combo amp, and I'm going to go and put it back together now.